Here in theCUBE, we've been discussing much of the reaction coming in across the world to the Queen's death, from presidents, prime ministers and other monarchs. But some of the discourse online has been less than sorrowful, often due to certain countries' colonial pasts. Hashtags like African Twitter and Irish Twitter have been recounting painful stories, often carried out in the Queen's or monarchy's name. One example is in Kenya. Take a look at this. Elizabeth II was in the country when she became Queen, while it was still a colony. Here, this investigative journalist recounts how only months after becoming Queen, the UK began a brutal crackdown on anti-colonial rebels known as Mau Mau. This led to around 1 million people being detained in concentration camps. Now, obviously, the Queen isn't personally responsible for this, but for many in Kenya, it's hard to detach her from the colonial administration in whose name it was carried out. Another example is from India. There, the government have declared a national day of mourning. Flags will be flown at half-mast across government buildings. But for this woman, it was all a bit too much, and not appropriate in modern India, an independent nation. She asks the question simply, is India still a colony of the Crown? Now, as with any globally discussed event, opinions on the Queen's death differ significantly. For some, it's impossible to detach the idea of the Queen, who for most people is quite a kind, duty-bound woman, from the institution that she was a part of, and some of the atrocities that were allegedly carried out in her name. Before I let you go, take a look at this. It's a tweet from Mary Lou McDonnell. She's the president of Sinn Féin, an avowedly Republican Irish party. Not the best friend, you'd think, of the Queen. But in her tweet, she pays her respects to the Queen, noting how she helped bridge divides on the island of Ireland. And it's a good way of showing how history cannot be simplified easy. Given the very long reign of Elizabeth II, over 7 decades of immense change, it's also similarly difficult to react to the Queen's death in one way.